All. Good morning or good evening, everyone, based on where you're joining. This is our annual member meeting. We'll be going over for this member meeting, really kind of a focus on the strategy. This happens to be a strategy here, so quite a bit of focus on that topic. But first of all, I'll spend a little bit of time. Obviously, as you know, we are a not-for-profit industry association, and as such, we're driven by members, and we have a board of directors that is elected by the members, and this board of directors is extremely active in the organization, driving things forward, and you'll see they're very active also in creating the strategy. So definitely like to thank these individuals. So Kenny from Dell, Scott from Red Hat, Tamara from Microsoft, Jay from Cloud Software Group, Bina from IBM, John from NetApp, Deepak from UiPath, Richard from Actian, Derek from Cisco, Jason from Nutanix, and Todd from VMware. We meet with these folks once a month, and then also 3 times a year face-to-face for a couple of days. So they are certainly committing a lot of their time and energy to making sure that we're doing the right things for the TSANet membership. So definitely want to thank the board. And certainly if you ever have any questions, in addition to reaching out to me directly, you could always contact a board member as well. So I'm going to move right into this strategy, since this really is what's going to be the focus of this member meeting. This is really highlighting how we created this strategy this year. So as you can see from the bottom side, we have quite a few different areas that we get input from the members. Probably the biggest is the regional focus groups. So during this year, we had a regional focus groups where we had discussion topics about the strategy, specifically with North America. We had several workshops that really kind of focused on the needs of hyperscalers. And then we also have a few committees that are in place, and you'll hear a little bit more about this as we go forward. So we have a TSANet Security Committee. They meet quarterly, and again, this is focused on our ISO certifications, making sure the platform is secure. We have a Technology Committee. They've been really focused on Connect 2.0. And then we have a Membership Committee that's driven towards trying to understand how we grow membership. This year, we also introduced a TSANet advisory board. So I've had 3 different consultants that have been helping during the year, giving feedback on, what are the directions we're going in, clarifying some of the strategy elements. So that's really been helpful and arguably kind of a new thing that we did this year. And then that all filters through the board of directors. As indicated, we meet every month, 3 times a year. So they're ultimately the ones that sign off on the new strategy. So moving through, first of all, the current state and the future state related to the strategy. So from a membership standpoint, on the current state, I'd like to maybe focus in on 2 different areas of membership. So we have the regular membership, which are the standard premium and elite members. We have 75 of those. Unfortunately, the trend has been on a decreasing side. We've had some challenges here with 2023, with some members downgrading into the limited member area. So budget, some of the economy challenges for this year certainly have impacted our group as well. From the limited membership side, you can see here a very, very large number, 830 members now in the limited membership side. That trend is increasing. That has been increasing year over year. And one of the things I'm trying to show in this chart, though, is one of the challenges that we have with the limited membership, and that is a lot of those limited membership members only have 1 or maybe 2 relationships. So we find that then challenging to get them to use the system, to upgrade the system, to really kind of get value out of their membership. And that's really resulted in us only being able to upgrade 2 limited members up into the regular membership area in 2023. So we certainly would like to get more of those. The idea is to have a limited membership as kind of how you're introduced to TSANet, certainly if you're a smaller company, but we certainly would like to get you to have more relationships and ultimately become a regular member. So fast forwarding into the future state, what we'd like to see is back up to what I would call strength with TSANet membership. So back up to 95 as far as the elite, premium, and standards. That would get us back to kind of the peak of our membership. So I feel that that's really the target. We want to be on an increasing trend also. And also the third thing is we would like to be getting a decent number of those new members through limited upgrades. And you can see here, as far as the future state for limited members, really the thing that we want to fix is not let's add 200 more limited members. I think the quantity of members we have is plenty. We really want to get those members to have more relationships. So that is joining more partner programs or forming more relationships with other members. So you can see here kind of the chart. We would like this, where we have quite a few in this 3 to 4 and about 100 in this 5 to 6, because then that really prompts them well to be positioned for an upgrade. And you can see here we'd like to move from a 2 upgrades per year into more of a 10 upgrades per year. So really using that limited membership as a growth engine. So that's a limited membership view. If we look at then the first area of value to members, it's really in how members collaborate. And we spent a lot of time this year working with members and really trying to understand and consolidate all the different partnering methods that are out there. So the first is a common customer. This is arguably how TSANet started, and it's the classic. You don't really know who your partner is until your customer calls you on the phone and they're having a problem with your product, right? And this is really, in a lot of cases, the only way that you can collaborate, because you've got the TSANet legal framework and the operational piece to allow you to engage a partner that might not be an alliance partner, strategic partner. So that still happens, and that's out there, and that's really kind of the foundation of TSANet. Alliance partners, this is something that's come on pretty strong here over the last 10 years. We've got several members that have 200 plus partner programs on the platform. So this is your alliance partner programs, your VMware TAP, Red Hat Connect, Nutanix Elevate. A lot of these partner programs are sitting on the platform, and this makes certain that partners that have a validated configuration, you've got access to them in a support engagement. And this is really how TSANet scaled. And we see the last area, strategic partnerships. A lot of these are happening outside of TSANet. So we really see this as a future opportunity. And again, these are your OEM relationships, your solution support, managed service providers kind of fall in this area as well. So this is an area where a particular member is taking we'll call it the first level support or the customer support, and then they're backlining product support to different vendors that are part of the solution. So we see this as something that a lot of members are doing. We see this more and more, and we feel that this needs to be something that that TSANet adds and does well, so that we can easily go to our members and say we have strong support for all the technology partner models that our members may have in place. So that's what we see as a future state on that side. And then the community area, this is obviously where you get your benefit of being part of the community. And I would say the biggest part of that are the regional focus group meetings. And if you have not participated in that, I definitely encourage you to do that next year. All the regions meet face-to-face. The only one that we have not met face-to-face is Japan. So we have North America, we have EMEA, we have India, we have Australia, which does include other countries, Singapore, Philippines, Malaysia, and then we have Japan. So all of those are very active regional focus groups. It's a great opportunity for you to get your managers involved in participating in one of these focus group meetings. And then we have, I would say, around 40% of our regular members. And when I say regular, it's standard, premium, it's elite. So limited members are not a lot, they're not part of joining the regional focus group meetings. These are for the standard, premium, and elite members. But about 40% participate. So certainly we want to get that up. And then from a content standpoint, we have 3 of the meetings now that have very good best practice discussions, and that's North America, the EMEA, and the India group. So very good discussion around best practices sharing. We had the meeting in Amsterdam for Europe. AI was the topic. You had in India diversity in the workplace, so some really good discussions around best practice and a lot of sharing between those teams. And then, of course, North America, we had a lot of discussion around the hyperscalers and workshops in that area. And then, like I said, from a content standpoint, we really look at between the engineers, which we have the technical knowledge exchange, and then we have the management best practices. We have been posting some blogs from consultants, and then, as I indicated, we've got 3 groups where we're doing some best practice discussion. But moving fast forward into the future state, we certainly want all the groups to meet face to face. So again, Japan's really the only one that we need to move to a face to face. We do want to really double the participation from the members. So we want to get that up to 80% of standard premium elite members are participating in one or more group. And then we want all the regional meetings to have these best practice discussions. So really kind of moving all of the regional groups up to an area. So again, if you're a member and you're maybe participating in a North America focus group, definitely encourage you to look and see, do I have a team in India? Do I have a team in Japan? And get them involved in some of these other regional focus groups. And then the content standpoint, we really, from a technical knowledge exchange, I think we kind of learned our lesson here. This is definitely not an easy task to create new content. And what we found is a lot of members already have teams that are creating this type of video content. So we are going to leverage existing processes and content a lot more than we did this year. And then same thing on the best practices side. So we plan to leverage those consultants that helped us with the strategy in the area of like research and best practices. So really kind of creating more meat around the outcome of these meetings, right? Where we're sharing information. Maybe that results in, hey, we need to do some more research here. We need to document this best practices more. So that's the current and the future state of each area. Then taking a look before we fast forward here to 2026, I just want to give you a snapshot of how the finances look for TSANet. So from a 2023 standpoint, I would say from a good news standpoint, you can see here break even, which is certainly what we're supposed to be doing from a not-for-profit scenario. So we're supposed to be investing member funds. We are lower than what we expected on the revenue side. We have been monitoring that very closely over the months, and we've making the appropriate adjustments along the way to make sure we're not dipping too much here into the cash assets. So I think we're in decent shape exiting 2023. Certainly, it's been a challenging year. I suspect a lot of your companies had kind of a similar type of thing where there had to be a little bit of a expense reduction to kind of make sure that that things were in place. But I would say we're exiting 2023 in decent shape because we have not had to dip into the cash assets, and the goal with the cash assets was to make sure that we had 1 year of expenses as a buffer, which I do feel is very conservative for an not-for-profit. So then moving into 2024, again, we're planning to be very conservative in 24. The big area of investment from last year, and it will be the same for 2024, is the investment in TSANet Connect, right? And when I say investment in TSANet Connect, this is development, right? So the operations and software licensing, all that type of stuff is in a different area, but a lot of our stuff is focused on open source. So it's primarily an investment in developing there. And you can see here as far as the revenue plan, slightly higher than this year, but we certainly don't expect a big increase next year. So we are making sure the expenses are in line with that and maintaining the cash asset line as we exit 2024 as well. So making sure we don't dip in too far here in 2024. But again, we'll watch that month over month. We've got some ability to flex up on the investment side or flex down based on what we're seeing from a financial standpoint. So then moving into the TSANet strategy. The way to look at this is we've got 3 different areas, as you kind of saw from the current state and the future state. So the first area we have is to growing the members and relationships, and I would really put a high emphasis here on the relationships, and I think you'll see that when I drill into the detail. The second area is to expand our technology partner framework. Again, you saw that in the future state. We want to make certain that we have support for all of the partnering models, specifically the OEM strategic partners, the areas where we do see the hyperscalers and those folks having a lot of requirements in that space as well. And then from the community standpoint, we want to really increase the value, and that is the networking aspect. So again, you saw the more participation, and then from a content standpoint, we want to scale up the technical knowledge exchange as well as the best practices. So make sure from the community standpoint, you're getting value out of that aspect of TSANet as well. So we really do see kind of these 2 areas being equal, right? You have the need to collaborate on a transaction level with members, and certainly that's in the partner framework and things like TSANet Connect, et cetera. But then there's also value in the community, and certainly coming to the regional focus groups, sharing best practices, having a chance to form relationships with some of your key partners is certainly a benefit of those regional groups as well. So we do see those equal and want to make sure we're investing in both. So from a growing members and relationships standpoint, we really see 3 areas here. The first is, again, to take a look at the limited membership today to see what changes we need to make to create more relationships. So there probably is, in fact, we know there is, based on our work here over the past couple years in trying to grow the relationship, some policy things, some revenue things that are really kind of making it difficult to scale and scale quickly. So the plan is to meet with the board there and really try to come up with a new policy and process to really kind of scale those relationships up, because we know you need relationships to have more usage, and you need more usage to get more value. And then that's the point where some of these limited members are saying, hey, there's a lot more to TSANet here than just making VMware happy or Red Hat happy. I would like to take a look at standard premium or elite membership myself. So that's really, I would say, the biggest area of focus where I think we get a lot of return if we make the right changes there. The second area is continue the work that we did in 2023 with the hyperscalers and cloud companies. So again, we know that there's some unique needs there in the area of legal and operational requirements, data privacy, all those types of things, definitely at a different level with those companies. So we do see that as being part of growing the membership, is making sure we're meeting the needs of those. And then the third area is the Success Manager program. So we had really a focused effort this year on elite members, and I would say that that was a success. We learned a lot from those members. I think we've been able to kind of move a few of them forward as far as getting more value out of the membership. So we feel that that's something that we do need to expand to the other members, maybe not in the same way, right? So with elite members, we generally meet, 2-3 times a year on the call, really kind of making sure they're moving forward. It might be a different cadence with premiums, different with standard, but we feel that the process itself of really looking at the success of each membership level is important and something we want to expand. So then, as far as the expanding the technology partner framework, we've really got a few things there. Again, the biggest one is Connect 2.0. And if you didn't have a chance to come to the most recent webinar that we had about a month ago, definitely take a look at our blogs. You'll see the recording of that. Highly encourage you to take a look at that. That will really be a focus here for us in 2024, right? To really focus on deploying that. We'd like to get a high percentage of our elite members up on the Connect 2.0 in 2024. So a lot of focus in that area. The updating of the legal framework for cloud companies, we know that needs to take place. You can see this one's pushed out a little bit into 2025 because we feel we really need to learn a bit more about that as we do the effort to expand the partner framework and understand what the cloud companies mean. And again, this could be the type of thing where, yeah, maybe we don't update the TSANet legal framework. Maybe we adopt the hyperscalers and make that a transparent connection into partners that they work with. So we really need to kind of look at the pros and cons of the different approaches there. And then the third area is obviously to document the framework, and obviously focus being on the OEM and the strategic area, because we don't have a lot of stuff in that area. But I think this gives us an opportunity also to kind of update the overall overall framework, so people really kind of understand, hey, here are the different engagement models that we support, and here's exactly how you do them, and here's the best practices, and here's the operational offering, so that members have a clear roadmap on how they engage each of their partners. So then the third area is increasing the TSANet community value. So again, this one, the first area is expanding the regional focus groups. And again, I think our big area here, when I say expand, is to get a higher percentage, right? So as I indicated, we're about the 40% mark. We want to move into the 80% mark. So this is just getting a higher quantity of members to participate. So again, I think we have had some really great focus group meetings here. We've been hitting the 25, even 30 participant mark in some of the regions, but we have seen where sometimes we get several companies that are attending from a particular member company, right, to kind of drive those numbers up, and we would prefer to see a lot more companies represented in addition to the numbers, right? So, and again, these I think we're going to do a bit based on the face-to-face / online access as well. So we kind of have found that combination is a good one, because if you're close, certainly makes sense to come face-to-face. But if you can't travel, or budget approvals, what have you, we've certainly seen that this year. We do not want to have that excluding people from participating in these. So we'll have kind of the blended meeting thing. And then of course the idea here is to share best practices and kind of do that in such of kind of the open source model, right? So it's not someone coming in and telling you exactly what you need to do. It's really the members kind of sharing what they're doing, learning from each other, really iterating to develop some of those best practices. And then the content side, again, we talked about the content really coming from members and consultants, so we plan to scale that up. So for example, in addition to we've had guest blogs this year, we're going to expand to have guest webinars. So kind of bringing some best practices from the consultants in that area. And then in 2025, the idea is to open up a marketplace. So again, you see this further out. When I talk about a marketplace, this is solutions and services that help our members and are kind of complementary. So this could be an area where, yeah, maybe you're trying to implement a strategic relationship or an OEM, and you need some help with that, and it's more than TSANet can provide, and there's a consultant that we feel is aware of the TSANet processes and kind of can come in and do that heavy lifting. So the idea is to have these types of services and solutions where you can discover those in a marketplace type environment. So then last of all, let's take a look at the plans here. And I think the way that I like to describe the plans is, first and foremost, we have the membership piece, and clearly this is the responsibility of both myself and the board, right? So we need to spend time on the limited policy. We need to spend time on the success manager piece. So this is really where staff and the TSANet board of directors will be focusing, right? So the membership piece. But then the other two areas, again, kind of back to we're a membership driven organization, members that contribute to these types of things, members guide what we do. The way to look at each of these is, for example, in the framework, we plan to create a cloud committee. And again, that will be including both hyperscalers and technology vendors, right? So we have a good voice on each, and they will guide the expansion of the framework, because we do feel a lot of the requirements have come from some of the workshops we've had with the hyperscalers, et cetera. So how do we expand that framework? What are the details as we start to deploy Connect 2.0 and iterate that to meet the members' needs? So that committee will be put in place, and they'll really be the ones that are helping drive what we do in that area. And then similarly with the community, and again, this is where I encourage you to get involved, because it really is the regional focus groups that drive that community aspect, right? So the networking component, the content piece, right? So what's the content we need for the engineers? What's helpful in that area? For the managers, what research is helpful for them? What are best practices topics? What can we kind of discuss during the regional focus group meetings? So this is really the area where I think being involved in a regional focus group is quite helpful, right? You can contribute to these things. You can help kind of guide where we spend our time and energies. So that is how the 2024 plans look. And again, this is a 3-year strategy. So what we plan to do is each year, obviously, there's a new set of plans that are being guided by the high-level 2026 strategy. But obviously, we've got some flexibility here. If we spot changes in the marketplace or things that are kind of driven from the members to, hey, add more priority here or less priority there, we can adjust those along the way. But for 2024, this is how we're moving forward with the 2026 strategy. So the last slide, and I would say my big message to you on the call is just re-stressing that this is your organization. So there's a lot of benefits of getting involved, right? Obviously, it gives more value back to the membership and i.e. your company, but I think it also has some personal benefits as well. I guarantee if you talk to any of the board members, they will tell you it is a great great piece of their career. They mentioned it in their LinkedIn, et cetera. Discussions there. Obviously, serving on a board is a very unique thing. So that's certainly an opportunity. If you've thought about serving on a board of directors, certainly reach out to me, because each year there is some seats that become available for voting. So keep that in mind and reach out to me if that's something that you'd be interested in. Similarly, we have all these committees, right? And like I said, we have security committees, technology committees, now we have a cloud committee, membership committee. So if you want to be on a committee, reach out to me as well. And we'll kind of discuss, what your interests are and where you'd like to put some effort. And again, I see that as a great, kind of personal feedback as well, as far as getting involved in those types of things. I think some great benefits for you as an individual as well. And then the third area is obviously joining a regional focus group, right? This is probably, the area where I think everyone, that's on the call, if you're management, you should be looking at this. And again, if you have other team members in other regions, right, you should be reaching and pulling those in, because this is an easy area to get involved. And again, usually has a really high return. I haven't been to any focus group meeting where people kind of left and said, well, that was a waste of a day, right? Or that's a waste of a few hours, right? Just really, really strong positive feedback on, the value that they got on networking, the discussions, the content. So really, really good feedback on these regional focus groups, and highly encourage you to get involved. So with that, that is the end, and I'll open it up. I know we're right at the end, but there's probably a little bit of time for questions if people did want to send them into chat. And again, you can reach out to me directly with any questions as well.